the island of wicked witches. Long ago, in the heart of the great land of Ugomiri, there was a legend whispered among the elders, feared by the hunters, and sung in harsh tones by the village children. It was the story of Okpuruland, the island of wicked witches, hidden deep within Lake Nwanyi, a place so dark and cursed that even birds refused to fly over it. The witches who lived there were not ordinary ones. They were ancient beings, older than the tallest baobab tree, more terrifying than the fiercest leopards and lions. They could steal voices, turn people into animals, and control the wind with a snap of their fingers. Their leader, Agadi Nwanyi the Ever-Hungry, the most wicked, was the fearsome of them all. Her teeth were long and black like charcoal. Her eyes glowed red in the darkness, and her voice could shatter the strongest warrior's courage. No one who had ever stepped foot on Okpuruland had ever returned. One fateful night, during the Moonlight Festival, when the village was filled with music, laughter, dancing, and children running up and down, and the sweet smell of roasted yam, Adaora, the kind-hearted sister of a brave boy named Obinna, was taken. The witches came like shadows, slithering through the night, unseen but deeply felt. A great wind howled through the village, blowing out every torch, every fire, every light. Then silence. When the light returned, Adaora was gone. A terrible cry rose in the village. The elders shook their heads. The people whispered in fear. The witches have taken her. They murmured, "Where is Adaora? What's taking her? Where could she be? Where?" "She is lost forever." But Obinna refused to accept this. "I will bring her back," he declared, his fists clenched. "Madness!" The villagers gasped. "You will never return." Yet, deep in his heart, he knew there was no choice. He would rather face the witches and perish than live without his beloved sister. Before setting off, Obinna visited Nze, the wise one, the oldest man in the land, said to be the oldest one, older than the hills themselves.
"The witch's magic is strong, but it is not invincible,"
Nze said. His voice was like the rustling of dry leaves.
"There is one thing that can break their power: the oil of the sun."
He handed Obinna a small calabash filled with thick golden oil. This oil, said to be very, very old,
"This oil was blessed by the great spirit of the sun. When poured onto a victim's shadow, it burns away the witches. Their power becomes useless. It burns their power like fire burns like dry grass. But beware, you have only one chance. Fail, and you will become one of them.
Obinna took the oil, bowed deeply in respect, and set off in his small wooden boat, paddling toward the forbidden island. The waters of Lake Nwanyi were not ordinary waters. As Obinna paddled, the waves whispered his name. Obinna! Obinna! Strange hands reached up from beneath the waters, trying to pull him down. The night was alive with unseen creatures, eyes glowing in the darkness. But he sang the songs of the ancestors, the songs his mother had sung to him when he was a child. Obinna one name paranuma, Bina one name paranuma, Bina one name paranuma, paranuma, paranuma. His voice kept the spirits at bay. And after what felt like an eternity, he reached the shores of Okpuruland. The island was worse than he ever had imagined. The trees were twisted and gnarled, their branches reaching like skeletal fingers. The ground was covered in bones, and in the distance a red fire burned, flickering with unnatural shapes. Obinna crept forward and saw them, the witches. They were dancing in a circle, their long pony fingers glowing at the air, their laughter shaking the very ground. In the middle of the circle, tied to a giant black stone, was Adora. She was weak, her face pale, her voice stolen by their wicked magic. At the center stood Agadi Nwanyi, the ever-hungry and the most wicked one of all the witches. She held a knife made of pure lightning, ready to complete the wicked ritual. Obinna had no time to waste at all. He uncorked the calabash immediately, but as he lifted it, the witches sensed his presence.
Hold us!
Agadi Nwanyi shrieked. Before he could react, the witches swarmed towards him, their long fingers stretching into claws, their mouths opening too wide as if to swallow him whole. Obinna dodged and leaped toward Adora, pouring the oil of the sun onto her shadow. Instantly, a golden light exploded from her, breaking the witch's spell.
No!
No! The witches screamed. Obinna turned and threw the rest of the oil onto Agadi Nwanyi's shadow too. The ground shook. The ground shook and shook and shook, with thunder striking. The witches wailed and screeched, their bodies melting into the earth, their dark magic burning away like dry leaves in a raging fire. The sky cracked open, and a mighty wind tore through the island. The land crumbled beneath them. Grabbing Adora, Obinna ran for his life, jumping into the boat. Just as Okpuruland sank into the lake, never to be seen again. When Obinna and Adaora returned to the village, the people were in awe. No one had ever defeated the witches before. The elders declared him a true warrior, and Nze, the wise one, smiled, his ancient eyes twinkling.
You have proven that courage and wisdom are stronger than any evil,
he said. That night, the villagers celebrated until dawn. Songs were sung of Obinna's bravery. Stories of the fall of Okpuruland were passed down to children for generations. And though the witches were gone, some say that when the wind blows over the Lake Nwanyi, you can still hear whispers. Whispers of the wicked ones trapped beneath the waters, waiting, and always waiting. The end.